So I saw some of you at the Christian Farmers at Boggers, and you were generously enough to invite me here to speak today. A little bit about me personally. I've grown up in Carroll County. I've lived here my whole life. I went to South Carroll, sorry. I have 3 grown daughters out on their own and finished college and on their way to being adults with their own incomes. So I got started, I've been an owner myself, a business owner, since I was 13. So the Carroll County Farmers Market is one of the second oldest farmers market in the county. And my mom, when the elderly couple that ran the kitchen wanted to retire, she says, "You two can do this," meaning my sister and myself. So she put us in the kitchen, and I've been running the kitchen ever since. So I started real young with understanding income and sheets and all that other things. But so from there, I graduated from Towson with a business and finance degree. When I got out, it was a little difficult to find jobs. So we knew a friend of a friend, which I think is a plus for a lot of kids getting started. It's not always what you know, it's who you know. And I started working in what at the time was Westminster Union Trust. So they hired me as a floating teller. So I would go to different branches when somebody was out on vacation, and then I moved into floating accounts. And then within 5 years, I was new accounts and assistant manager at one of the branches. I stopped working and to stay home with my children while I was still running the kitchen for the farmers market, and I ended up taking on baking cakes for the market. So that was my income, and I could still stay home with my children. So that brings that up to date. The farmers market is located at the Ag Center, which I am now the general manager of, and this will be my 6th year moving into that position, or in that position. And so I have a little history about the Ag Center. Get my glasses, dark in here. So just the history of the Ag Center, just a little bit. Some of you heard this the other day. So the green space at the Ag Center located at 706 Ag Center Drive in Westminster. The property is composed of 2 contiguous parcels. Parcel 1 is 13.6 acres and is owned by the Ag Center. Parcel 2 is 7.5 acres and is leased from the county commissioners. The Ag Center is adjacent to the Carroll County Farm Museum, creating a large green space at the edge of Westminster. The Carroll County Ag Center was created in March of 1954 exclusively for charitable, educational, and scientific purposes. The Ag Center Board of Directors is made from 10 member groups that include Farm Bureau, Young Farmers, Farm Bureau Women, Family Community Education, the Panoma Grange, 4-H All-Stars, 4-H Leaders, the Carroll County Farmers Market, Carroll County Extension Advisory Board, and the Carroll County 4-H Fair. The Ag Center provides a permanent site for the 4-H and Future Farmers of America Fair, the Carroll County Farmers Market, and the 4-H Therapeutic Riding Program, and other agriculturally related activities. In 1968, the Ag Center was granted tax-exempt status under the provision of Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. In 1981, the Ag Center entered into agreement with the Carroll County government to provide land for a new Cooperative Extension Service building. The Cooperative Extension Service is an off-campus branch of the University of Maryland. So the mission and goals. The missions of the Ag Center: to provide for agriculture-related activities and educational programs, to support 4-H, Future Farmers of America Grange, and similar groups with Carroll County, Maryland, to provide an accessible facility for use by supported groups, other charitable and educational organizations, and the general public, to pass on the future generations of Carroll County a rich agricultural heritage. The goals are to improve the facility in order to better provide services, better serve our target groups, and to increase the participation of the general community in our activities. So not only does the Ag Center provide facilities for youth and educational agricultural purposes, it also is a destination for people of all ages to visit and participate in a wide range of events that the Ag Center hosts each year. We host sporting events that include tractor pulls, demolition derbies, amateur boxing, wrestling camps, international bull riding, cornhole competitions, and gymnastics competitions. We also host dog shows, AKC search and rescue certification for therapy dogs, farrier certification, and alpaca shows. We have an antique car parts swap meets, motorcycle and bicycle swap meets, flea markets, car shows, and craft shows. We also host weddings, quinceañeras, baby showers, birthdays, and corporate parties. We are home to the annual Celtic Festival in June and the Oktoberfest in fall, as well as our corn maze in September through October. So we have a wide range of events, and right now this weekend we have a car swap on Friday and Saturday, and then we're flipping the building for a tax sale on Sunday. The weekend before was the alpacas, and then we flipped it to something else on Sunday, and it escaped my mind. If you could see my schedule, my board at work, there's something every day. We have 6 buildings that we can rent out. Shipley is the largest, being 52,000 square feet. It's like an airplane hangar. So you can actually drive a tractor trailer in to unload to prepare for your events. So March is a very busy month for us. Like I said, every weekend, we have something every weekend from now until the end of the year, and I'm starting to book 2026. We've had a lot of, in August, we've got 2 weddings and 2 quinceañeras. So those are huge parties and late nights. And the Ag Center is, like I said, it's a nonprofit. It's separate from the county. We are run by our 10-member groups, and the Ag Center has to do some fundraising. Our biggest one coming up is we have a tractor pull and truck show at the end of April. So the farm stock is on Friday night, where the kids can bring their tractors to do a pull. And then Saturday is all the trucks, so semis, dumps, trucks, some of the big excavation companies and CJ Miller and those types, they bring out their shiny trucks and they put them in the competition to who has the prettiest truck, and then they'll pull the sled in the dirt.
Nice.
So it's like I said, if you can think up of an event, we can do it. So it's keeps my job exciting. It's a little hairy right now, but and then to speak about the youth, I will be participating in the mock interviews next week with the high schools, and I enjoy doing that because a lot of kids, they don't have experience. A lot of them, if I had one boy, he's super bright, great personality. He was into sports and didn't have time to get a part-time job while he was in high school. So they always want to know what your experience is. So I tell the kids, go back to what you're involved in. So I said, what do you do? What sport do you do? And he was swimming. I said, what do you do for swimming? And he ended up being the team captain. I said, draw on that experience. I said, that's leadership qualities. That's also handling situations if you've got 2 kids that aren't getting along, that kind of thing. So all of those are attributes that a business will look at, even if you did not go to a restaurant and wait on tables and something like that. My girls ended up, and I did this too, we worked at Bullock's, waiting on people, and a restaurant is one of the best jobs for kids. They learn to communicate with the public. They're also invested in their phones without social ability. So if they can get out and just, even if it's just one day a week, it gives them the confidence and it gets them out of their shyness, and I think that's important. And for them to be able to sit down and do their first interview is very intimidating. You don't know much about yourself as a young person, and it's not until you're out and doing different things that you build that confidence. So we try and work with the high schools to bring interns in. They do my social media posts. I didn't have one this semester, and it's driving me crazy because it's time consuming, very time consuming when we're flipping these buildings and we have so many events. So that's in a nutshell what I do and where I am. We have 2 full-time employees, myself and my maintenance supervisor. We have 2 part-timers, one that helps us clean and flip these buildings every week, and another one that helps on the weekends and the evenings when we have sporting practices in the building, just so I don't have to be there 24/7. So, yeah. So, any questions?
What's it cost to run that per month?
So when we were in COVID and we had to shut down, thank God the county had the COVID testing and the vaccines there. That was enough to help us get through that time when we could not have events. At that time, it was $20,000 a month for everything, the insurance, the employees, just the maintenance. And then Shipley is now 22, it's going on, it's 22 years old. The pipes are all starting to get pinholes and they're all copper. So that's expensive. So anytime we have to fix something, it is really expensive. And I'm sure it's no longer $20,000 a month. The building is heated with natural gas. So we have a gymnastics competition in there for 2 days. They have to have the temperature at 70 because the girls are in leotards. Their utility bill was $1,900 just to heat the building, because the electric and the water aren't all that expensive. But the building was supposed to have a second story, which would have helped with the heating, but they ran out of money when they were building it. It was going to have conference rooms and a whole nother kitchen upstairs. So it is very expensive to maintain, and so that's why we've gotten really busy, and we've been able to book a lot of events. Yes.
Why is it called Shipley Arena?
So Danelle Shipley, the Shipley family, their daughter had passed away, and they had donated $100,000 towards the building when it was being built, and that's why it's called the Danelle Shipley Arena. Most of our buildings have a name on it for that kind of reason.
How do you handle, I mean, I guess weddings, it's very fancy, and obviously the fair, it's manure.
Yes.
I mean, how do you clean? How do you flip?
So we have a Zamboni, what I call a Zamboni sweeper. It's one of those machines that will, it does dry and wet, and so most of it's done. We get most of it out by hand with a brush broom and shovels. But then we can run that thing back and forth and clean. So it's a lot, yeah. We spent a whole week cleaning that whole building right before the hospital had their gala here this year. And I don't know that building had ever been cleaned since it had been put up. So we were bringing down dust off the ceiling and the walls. Because like we have the bull riding, which that makes a lot of dust, and the fair with all the animals, because that's where they put the animals, is in the Shipley Arena, and the upper buildings are used for the kids' projects. So it's a lot of work, and like I said, it's amazing what we can accomplish on a small staff.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the hospital gala was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they took care of all the decorating and everything, and it transforms that building. You don't even know that it looks like an airplane hangar. Same with the weddings and the quinceañeras. They have exceptional decorators come in and then transform the whole building.
So food for events, you can bring in your own food?
Yes, we don't have a caterer's list that you have to work with, which I think people appreciate, and sometimes they won't even use the kitchen, they'll put a food truck out front. So like the Celtic Festival, she lines up food trucks around the outside of the building, because they can't be in because of the propane. So we have big garage doors that are enough to drive a tractor trailer in, and so the weather's nice, they just set up outside those doors and people can just get their food that way. And we work closely with the Farm Museum. We have a grass area below our paved parking lot that we share for parking, overflow parking. So when they have the wine festival in their spring garden, they park on our side and that kind of thing. So we have to coordinate our schedule with theirs, which can be tricky sometimes, but we're way busier than they are.
Do you all have any opportunities for like service learning hours for students?
Yes, if
Then I
they
need to
wanted
talk to you.
if they wanted to shadow me. I mean, anybody that comes into my office is a disaster because it's just me. I don't have an assistant. I don't have somebody do my filing or answering my phones, and I'm writing contracts and emailing them out, and just it's constant. And then I'm not only doing that, I'm running the flea markets, I'm doing the farmers markets, so it's a lot of paperwork. The internships that we had through the business school of Westminster High School, they wanted them to do more business financial, but not on that end of the finances. We have a treasurer that takes care of all the payments and things like that. I will accept them and deposit them, but she does the reports and everything like that. So we had them come in and do our social media for us to promote all the events that are coming up weekly.
Yeah. So I'll give you my card before I leave,
Okay,
if we can chat maybe?
okay,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Fireworks, is that?
So that's held from the Farm Museum. They put that on, but they park on that side, and it all depends on the weather and the wind where they end up sending them off. Usually it's down around the pond area.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that you.
I don't have anything to do with that
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yes.
Just curious.
Yes. Yep. There's some events, that, like I said, we utilize the same property.
Right.
Yeah, and in our last meeting, we were talking about the corn maze. We have 15 acres down there that we do a corn maze.
Nice.
And we try and come up with a theme. So when kids had to be home for COVID, we took all the high school's logos and made the whole corn maze that logo. And it was an area where they could come out and be outside, still be together, but be outside and go through the corn maze.
I wasn't gonna comment, but since my daughter participates in the therapeutic riding program.
Yes.
Since middle school, and she's 32.
Yes.
We've seen that space changed over the years, and I just wanna commend you how well it's run. When the corn maze is going on and you have these disabled riders coming
Yes.
in,
Yeah,
and
it
there's
gets
never
a
been
little
any
tricky.
problems or
No,
anything, and.
No, as
yeah.
long as people are conscious that of other.
Right,
of
and I've been to the
surroundings.
Celtic Festival, well done.
Yes, yeah, so
Yeah.
we're excited about that one. She's got sword fighting guy coming, Adrian Paul, I think his name is, somebody that's well known. And you can either take lessons from him or just get a signed autograph. So she's got some new ideas for this year, so it should be pretty exciting.
Any more questions?
Yes,
Is the 4-H fair your biggest event of the year?
it is because it's there for a whole week.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
so.
incredible.
Yeah, so their first night, which is before the actual 4-H fair starts, is the tractor pull for them, which is that Friday, the last Friday of July. And then they have, they'll have the demolition derby the last Saturday, which is technically after the 4-H fair part of it with the kids is finished. But throughout the evening, they have a cake auction, which brought in $126,000 last year, and their livestock auction brought in $900,000. So some of this money goes back to the kids, and some of it goes back to the fair to help the cost.
And you'll never do rides, right? Never do
They
rides.
do not want to bring that
Don't wanna
kind
do
of
rides.
clientele
Keep it back,
in.
Yeah.
They
keep
want to
it-
keep
keep
it
it
family
normal.
oriented, and that's one thing that they've
Yeah.
kind of stuck to. Now, once the people that are older are no longer involved, we don't know what the next generation will want to do. But it is expensive, and the Maryland, University of Maryland and the state cut how much money they were getting to help them support the fair this year. One year they got close to 100,000. Last year, I think they only got 25,000, so it depends on the state of Maryland State's budget and the
It's not
university.
good. That
But it's
budget's
not
not
good, no, it is not, because we usually put in for the governor's budget when Hogan was in office. That helped us pave the parking lot, it helped us pave the driveway, we put in all LED lights. We were able to make, repairs on the buildings that are a lot older. We put a new heating and air conditioning system in. So we can't afford that. The amount of money that I bring in is like around 250,000 for the year. Half of that goes to expenses, more than half. And so if we have repairs that pop up, and so we try and, so I keep busy and we try and get some big shows in, yeah. So it's a juggling act.
For sure.
Yep.
Any
Anything
more
else?
questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. And we have a gun raffle coming up, if anybody wants a gun raffle ticket, I have those with me too.
All right.